Okay, so coming in at number 4, let's talk about doing some transformation to videos. We've already spoken about some of these features in the previous layered video section, but we haven't covered everything because you can actually do live transformation with your videos as they play. I mean, you'll have seen this if you watched my headset review comparison previous video. You'll see that I have a lot of still images where there's like a pan and zoom effect going on. That's the sort of transformation we're talking about. So what might be quite cool to do, I was thinking, is to do a dolly zoom effect on the statue here. So the drone is set to do a droney effect, so it flies backwards and up away from the object, and so it's not perfect for doing a dolly zoom. For those who don't know, the dolly zoom is the effect where you pull away from something, but at the same time you zoom in, and so the object should ideally look roughly the same size, in a perfect world, the same size, the whole time the zoom happens. It's widely used in horror movies and things like this. First up, let's look at how to do a transformation in Vegas Pro. So, what we want is essentially the statue here to be roughly the same size. It's not going to be a perfect effect, so I don't want to see that in the comments. Oh no, you screwed it up. I know that it's not perfect. You can't do this when you're trying to do this after the fact. But essentially, you'll get the idea, is that he'll stay roughly the same size and the background will expand. So you may see some of the path behind him start showing up. You'll probably see him go out of focus because the drone's actually flying away from him. Let's take a look at how you do this in Vegas. So at the start, you see what happens is the drone flies away and he gets smaller. And we'll kind of stop there just as the picture comes in at the top there. So we look here and we go, that starts at about 10 seconds there. So we go to the event pan and crop option on the clip that we want to make the edit to. Open this up, move the timer to, let's just go with 10 seconds. And you can see down here that we've set this to 10 seconds, and double click, make sure the masking is turned on so that you get the keyframe set there. Now with this keyframe, what you can say is, okay, at 10 seconds I want the statue to be, or I want the picture to be zoomed in or cropped in a certain way. So what we're trying to do is make the statue the same size at 10 seconds as it was at the start of the video, and that should essentially mean that if it's roughly the same size in the video at the end as it was at the start, we should get this lovely sort of dolly zoom effect going on. I say it won't be perfect, so apologies for that. So he's about, I'm going to use my fingers here, he's about this big, elbow to elbow at the start there, and at 10 seconds he's about the same actually. Now what I maybe want to do is move him up a little bit. That should really be about it. Let's take a look. So you can see here that the statue is staying relatively the same size, but the background is coming in at you. And that is what we're looking for with the dolly zoom effect. So that's how you set up a transition in Vegas Pro. You set your, sorry, I should say transformation. You do transformations in the pan and crop video event effects panel. Okay, moving on to how we do this in DaVinci. So with DaVinci, we want to do the same thing. We want to set the 10 seconds so at 10 seconds we want this video clip. Oh, don't know what's happened here. Set this up. And the way that we do keyframes in DaVinci is with the clip selected, you want to tag here for your zoom and tag here for your positioning. We also want to set a tag at the start. So you've got to have two keyframes in DaVinci. You've got to set your keyframe at the start and then your keyframe between any transition or transformation. So come back to the 10 seconds and you'll see that the red diamonds have reappeared here. And what we can do again is set the zoom. So we can say, okay, at 10 seconds we want him to be, oh, I don't know what happened there, about there. I think is about right. We'll just do a quick check. So if he's this size, there, and about that size there, that's probably about right. Okay, so let's see how that looks in DaVinci. So again, you can see he's staying roughly the same size. It's not perfect. But that's how you do that. Okay? And of course, what I should say is you can do any sort of transformation you want. You could do a pitch thing or a yaw thing. I personally wouldn't. But let's say you wanted to rotate him at that point as well. You can do that. So you can have this really strange 3D effect sort of thing going on if you turn it that way. And really upset people. I don't recommend doing that, but it is something you can do. And you could also even have the rotation done between your keyframes. If I go to my keyframe here and say I want it rotated by the time it gets there, then what will happen, or if I go back to the start and I set the rotation angle to turn to 0, if I have locked the keyframe for the rotation angle here at the start as well, and then I go to my 10 seconds and set, say, a rotation angle on it further, say to the left, just over, say, 100 degrees, then if I set it to go, you now get all of this at the same time. And it really starts to have some really strange effects on your video. However, it's not really what I wanted. So I'm going to take the rotation keyframes out because that's not what I wanted in my video. But I wanted to show you that you can do that. And once again, this is how it looks. So all the transformations in DaVinci Resolve are done by selecting the video and editing the settings in the inspector window on the right hand side and using keyframes at the start and end of any transition window that you want to have a transition or transformation happen.